Good evening, everyone. As always, I am happy, delighted, and excited to be here this evening. I was going to have my lovely friend Carrie Bear as a guest tonight. However, he'll have to be on another evening. There seems to be some tech issues. We're in two separate states, and that shouldn't be a problem, right? Now, anybody who knows me for a long time, I'm sure they're laughing and tapping their hand, going, sure, no tech issues for you, Hallie. But this time it wasn't me. What can I tell you? Oh my, I am officially older today. Ever wonder about that? We have a birthday, which we know it's a particular date, and we celebrate that date each year. And yet overnight, we seem to be a year older. Wouldn't it be nice if we could go the other way? We can bend some time, and instead of being a year older, perhaps we're a year younger. There is something called quantum jumping. I think I may have mentioned it once or twice before. So you can connect with a younger version, of yourself, or you can go into your past. You can go into your future. A lot of people have heard the word regression. Somebody regresses into a past life or regresses within this current life to get information. There is also something known as progression, where you progress into a lifetime that is beyond this moment. I don't know if I want to do that one. Maybe, maybe not. I guess it depends on how much fun it is if I have my own private jet or not. And, that's a hint, folks. It's my birthday. If you want to give me a private jet, I'm good with that. I'm out of planes. I like flying on planes. It's all good. All right, kidding aside, back to Carrie for just a moment. You may have seen him before on the air. He's incomparable. He's wise. He's learned in so many ways, especially in the art and science of meditation. And he studied with some masters. Hopefully, we'll be able to get him back on very soon. Also, I am currently reading a couple of books from some amazing authors, and they should be on as well in the near future. What I'm working towards is getting a bit more structure. Oh my gosh, can you imagine me structured? So, when it comes to having guests on the show, I think it would be a good idea. And the intention here is one guest a month. Uh, if things go well, I should be able to have them on, let's say, the same week every month. Would be, let's say, the third week of the month or the second week of the month. I'm still getting the kinks worked out. Too many other things going on. I want to share very quickly as well. Oh my goodness. After more than a decade at my office, which the girls and I have loved. I say girls, Dr. Maya Sarkeesian, Gina, who does energy work and massage, and Michelle, who does biofeedback. We've worked hand in hand together for years, referring clients and patients back and forth. If I didn't know something, I would refer them, or they would refer to me, or sometimes we had mutual clients. We're still going to stay in touch. We're still going to share information and definitely make referrals, though we're all going to different places at the moment. The building that we've been in for so many years has recently transitioned to new ownership, and things have changed. That being said, we are making a change. That's really the easiest explanation, though. For those of you who are used to calling, going, hey, I want to get in today, I still may be able to accommodate you that way. We'll have to take a look and see as time progresses. I do have a temporary space. I have already booked some clients there. If you have an interest in getting into the Boca Raton office, do call me at 561-755-2166, or you can inbox me. But really the quickest is to use the phone number, whether you text or call. And I will see what I can do to get you into the office. And of course, if you're out of the country or you're out of the state, I'm happy to speak with you over the phone. Speaking of, I believe we have, if I read that correctly, Samantha on the line.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I am blessed and highly favored. I hope you are. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. And I love your answer. Blessed and favored. That's the way we all should recognize our lives, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have a specific question that you wanted to address this evening, or a specific area of focus?
Well, I'd like to know about my father and just just that, really.
Okay, so you're looking to know about your father who's no longer here?
Yes, he's not here with us. He passed away last year.
Yeah. Uh, I will be very candid. I'm not specifically a medium, meaning I don't get a whole mess of information from the other side. I pick up a little here, a little there in respect to the other side, though
Mhm.
for me, it's more clairaudient, clairsentient, and clairvoyant. I will focus for a moment, see what I can pick up for you, and I'll share what I get, and then we can go from there. How's that?
That sounds great.
Okay. So the first thing that seems to pop in is as someone who could be very brusque at times, meaning you're like if he was focused on something, and this feels like more going back maybe 10, even 20 years ago, when he was focused, he was one of those people that, had to keep his attention on what he was doing. He didn't want to, I don't want to say be bothered, but interrupted if he was focused on things. I feel like he felt it was important to complete what he was looking at or doing. It's interesting. I get
Yeah.
a very complex individual, meaning he at times seemed as if he could be difficult or could be self-contained, might be a better way to express that versus difficult. And yet he could surprise you by being very tender or very accommodating at times. Again, I
Yeah.
get a very complex personality. I get the sense that people either liked him or they didn't. I don't get a lot of middle ground as far as that goes.
Mhm.
I will tell you
That's
that.
that's
I'm sorry, say that again, hon.
no, I was just agreeing with you.
Okay, thank you. I do get the sense that he truly loved his family, though I also get the sense that they didn't always know it. Again, there's that complexity with him. I kind of get the feeling that in his mind, he kind of thought that you should know. Like the family should know how he feels and that they shouldn't take that for granted. Like he shouldn't have to tell them, which I think is interesting. And yet, this last, I'd say 2, 3 years, the feeling is that he was more open to family, to love, actually. And I guess maybe that's what I'm trying to say here. I'm trying to find the best words to articulate this. I get the feel that he was very self protective or self insulated, if you will. And it was not easy for him to fully express or embrace love. And yet, this past couple, 3 years, it feels as if he was more open to that. I will tell you that on the other side, I get not regret, though a sense of wanting those that he loved to know that he genuinely did care about them. So if there's any doubt about that, please share because it was just more a matter of too difficult for him to communicate based on his own upbringing and his own sense of self. Okay, I know how to explain this better because I'm sitting here kind of tripping over my words and I want to be clear with this. The overall impression with your dad is that he felt deeply, though he did not always know how to express it. And he thought if he was too expressive, too touchy feely, too lovey dovey, he wouldn't seem strong. He wouldn't seem the man in, like in charge. And I get the sense that a lot of that came from not so much his dad, but an older male. So whether it was an uncle or a grandfather, or even an
That's
older cousin.
exactly right. Not an uncle or a grandfather, but my dad grew up in foster care and had a really, excuse my French, but effed up upbringing. But he was a great father. He was a great father.
Yeah, because I just get, like I said, the sense that it was just so difficult for him. On a good note, honey, you really do
Yeah.
need to know, again, he loved his family, even though it wasn't always said in the way that would have been most comfortable or most appreciated. That love was
Um,
genuine. That was there. And again, I don't get there being regret, just more the thought of it would have been nice to see how people would have responded to him or how people would have reacted to him if he were able to express differently.
Yeah.
But I do get, again, that love that was genuine. I also get that he's around, but he's not around all the time. So what I mean by that is, okay, I get the feel that when you feel as if there's like a chill up the back of your neck, or it almost feels like somebody brushes by you and nobody's there, and you think, oh, it's the air conditioner or the fan or something, it's your dad. So he does show up, he does interact periodically. And I feel like you can tell specifically when you get that, like almost a tickle, if you will, on the back of your neck. And it reminds me of somebody taking their hand and kind of going like this on the back of your neck, or
Uh-huh.
a feeling of somebody brushing by. That's the best way I can tell you to recognize his presence. And I would be surprised if a photo didn't fall over, or some sort of sign that you have sitting around, but it feels like something was pushed or will be pushed in the near future to let you know that he's present.
Okay.
So there is,
Thank you.
you're welcome. There's a physical action to look for if it hasn't shown up yet. So if you walk into a room, for instance, and that little whatever plaque was sitting on the table and you see it laying on its side, and you're like, oh, this happened. That was your dad. And just letting you know that, hey, I'm around. I will tell you that
That's,
you can you can speak out loud anytime you want to him, and he will hear you.
that's good to know.
Okay. And the
Thank
other thing
you.
too, one more thing, and you're very welcome, but one more thing that I feel is very important. He no longer, thankfully, harbors ill will towards the older male that I was getting that, I'll just say, wasn't kind to him. I get the sense that he understands why he went through that process, even though, as humans, we look at this and we go, oh my God, that's awful. Why would anybody treat anybody like that? Or shouldn't they know better? Or, what's the point of all that? I get, truly, oof, chills. It's always major confirmation to me. I get a very strong feeling that he is aware of why he went through that entire process. And it has more to do with his soul's evolution than it does with his time on earth. On a good note, he won't have to repeat that type of thing again.
That's good to know. That's really good to know. Thank you so much.
Very
I had a few more questions.
sure.
I I'm currently going through a process that um I know my dad always wished I was going, would have done sooner, but I'm in school and I'm in a new place and all of this, and I guess um, I'm wondering, does my grandfather have everything in place when the time comes for him to pass? What kind of an answer do you pick up for that? He's not passed on yet, but that's one of my
Okay.
questions.
So there are certain things that are taken care of and other things that aren't. So, for instance, in respect to the idea of preparing for burial, I get that certain things are done, but not all. If there's a way to gain access to his papers, it would be good to review them. And what pops into my mind's eye here is someone who thought they were preparing everything, but because time has changed and because hands change as far as dealing with companies and people, there are certain things that weren't done. So, for instance, the actual funeral might be taken care of, but not the cost to pay for the minister. Or
Hmm.
it's like there's something. Okay, the best way I can explain this is to say there's something missing within his planning. That's the best way I can explain this. And I would
Hmm.
suggest, again, gain access to his paperwork. Please take a look because you'll be able to recognize it right away. And then you can tweak things so that you are prepared. The other thing there is the what he leaves behind is not clear. That you
Mm.
have to take a look at. And I feel like it's difficult to have a conversation with him to really get anywhere. Oh, you got your hands full, honey. Um, I will put it this way. As best as you can, do your research without having to ask him. So, like if you can go in and just take a look through papers, or there's somebody else in the family who might be able to help you by occupying him while you're looking, so that you can gain clarity, that would be a good thing, because I feel like he needs to sign something. It almost reminds me of if somebody had, let's say, a will or a list of intentions for when they pass, but they didn't make it legal. Or there's something missing here that needs to be looked at.
Okay, that
Okay.
sounds exactly like him, though. That does, so.
Okay. Sorry. It makes it a little difficult for you when you have to manage.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything will happen the way it's supposed to, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
I will tell you though, as far as your school, it's an excellent time to do this for you. Even though it feels a little bit like, oh my gosh, maybe I should have done this years ago. My dad was right. Don't worry about any of that. Just allow yourself to say, I'm doing it now. That's what counts. Because I feel as if once this education is under your belt, you are going to be a very happy camper.
Good. I'm glad to know that.
Mhm. Again, it might feel like, oh my gosh, it's tough, but just know that you can do it, because you can. And totally different subject for a minute, Samantha. Your feet. I
Do
keep
it.
hitting ankles, top of the feet. Ugh, there's something going on there. Are you having some issue with circulation? Something's happening. I almost feel like it's lymphatic system. And I'm not a doctor by any means. I'm just going by energy. But I will say, if you're
Uh-huh.
noticing that your feet feel swollen, even though they don't look swollen, go get them checked, because there's something going on. And I feel like it's something easy enough to take care of.
Okay, I definitely will. That is something that I've had some problems like with my back going on down my leg on my left side, pushing on my sciatic nerve. And in the
Okay.
past, like whenever I was getting clean, I was having some circulation. So I will definitely go to the doctor about that.
Okay. Yeah, just have them do a once over, because it just feels like it's something easy to deal with. And it could be something as simple as you don't have enough of a particular nutrient in your body that you should be getting more of. You know what I mean? Like they can, once they examine you, they go, oh, well, you need to do this, or you need to do that. But I'm going to make a really funny suggestion if you're open to it. And that
Yes,
is, when you
ma'am.
get up in the morning, when you get up in the morning and you get out of bed, jump. And what I mean is not jump out of the bed to the floor, but like jump up and down, wave your hands up in the air, wave your feet, like if you were a little kid doing the hokey pokey. It feels like you need things moving physically, physiologically, as well as energetically. Because I feel like when you sleep, there's a heaviness connected to you. There's almost a sadness when you fall into sleep. It's very deep. It's very mm, it's like there's stillness, and yet your mind is still going while your body is weighted. And so I feel like when you wake up, you kind of need to rebalance the mental with the physical, the spiritual with the physiological. Hopefully this is making some sense to you.
Yeah. Well, whenever I moved into sober living, I made myself an altar, so it's like a little nightstand, and I got a regular candle, and then I got a white candle, but it's all out. And my Fast Luck 13 green candle with the Lucky Lottery candle. I have a pumpkin up here. I have a clear quartz and a lapis, a yin yang symbol with some sage incense I need to burn. And on top of the thing that holds my lapis and my clear quartz is 3 pennies on heads.
Mhm.
And
See if you
like
can
that's do
go
what?
ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, you go ahead. I'm done.
I was just See if you can get yourself some rose quartz and some or one at least, Herkimer diamond. It's not an actual diamond, but it's called Herkimer, but it's a type of crystal, a type of quartz. Feels like those two will enhance what you're doing on your altar. The other thing here is when you're at your altar, really be intentional. Don't have your mind in 20 different places and then go, oh, I got to focus before you walk up.
Sounds like me. I also have
Yeah.
a cactus up there, a small cactus, because my great granny, she always had cactuses in her window, and it's just something I did to feel closer to her.
Okay, so since I have to say this quick because we're, believe it or not, running out of time, but bring something round into the space along with the cactus. And whether that is a beautiful coin or it's just something round with a flower in it or something with a round leaf, something round is really going to be helpful. Thank you so much for calling in. And I really pray that you'll kind of hear these things and follow through because they're important for you. Okay, my friend?
Thank you so much. You have made my night.
So glad. Take good care.
You too. Have a great birthday. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, then. Wow, how did that time go by so quickly? Like, oh, wait, I know. Tech issues in the beginning. I'm thankful that you joined us this evening. Good night.